So this is the inside of my new truck. I think it's big and beautiful and I love it. It's a 1999 Ford F-150. Just brought it home a couple days ago and I'm realizing that I'm starting to get that sickly sweet coolant smell when I turn my heater on. Also, down here I'm starting to get little drippy drops of warm coolant. So I think my heater core is gone. Probably the reason why the person sold me the truck at such a great price didn't disclose this information, and it was my own fault for not testing the heater, but it was a warm day so I didn't even think to. But I mean, what am I going to do about it? You know, I could call them up and bitch and moan and, you know, act like a petulant little shit, or I could knuckle up and fix it myself, which is exactly what I'm going to do. This is actually, if you take it to a mechanic, it's a fairly expensive repair. Somewhere between $600 and $1,000 because it's so time consuming. There's nothing particularly difficult about it, I don't think. It just takes a lot of time. And so, you know, you don't have to be an awesome mechanic, but you do have to have good organizational skills, and it really helps to do some research. I was lucky enough to find these instructions that I printed out online, written by an actual person, addending, or, yeah, like making an addendum to like, you know, the repair manual. And see, we've got like pictures and step-by-step and all this stuff we can follow. So look around for something like this, or at least, you know, a write-up on a forum or something. And if all else fails, read the repair manual. Haha. What I'm going to be doing is putting all my little snaps and connectors and screws and bolts in sandwich bags, and then I write on the sandwich bag what step that corresponds to. So, oh, we have step 26 right here. I know exactly which bolts I need to reattach my my glove compartment. So I don't want to get like a rattly dash, you know, or anything. And I want it all to work just like it does when I put it all back together. So here's my new heater core. Pretty swanky. It looks exactly like a radiator because that's all that it is. Coolant flows in, warms all this shit up, air blows through it, comes out your heater vents. And what happens is they start to leak right in here. So we'll see exactly where mine is leaking once we get into it. Anything you might need, like these are the connections that connect the heater cord to the coolant lines. Anything like that you might need, it's a good idea to buy, you know, beforehand. Save yourself some time. And also, if this is your only vehicle, well, how are you going to drive to the auto parts store to get it? So, like I said, do your research. So yeah, we're going to get started. So right in under there are where my coolant hoses go into my old heater core. Before you get all started with this big long process, it's a really good idea to actually confirm that it's your heater core that is bad. Sometimes you get cracks in the connectors right in there or in the hoses themselves, and a little bit of coolant will drip in, and then you'll get that smell. You wouldn't necessarily get drops on the floorboard like I'm getting. So really, unless your floorboard is getting wet, go ahead and investigate all of that first. If your floorboard's getting wet, it's pretty much cut and dry. But yeah, those do go bad from time to time. So what we're going to do is disconnect the battery. This is important because I have airbags and I don't want them to explode in my face. We're going to disconnect both of them. And then the manual says to wait for up to a minute for the backup battery supply for the airbags to be depleted, and that way it shouldn't explode on me. So fingers crossed for that. I'm going to be removing the dashboard, and so I'm going to want to kick this this gear shift lever out of the way. So I'm just going to slide that all the way down to give it enough room to pop up. Alright, now we just sort of you know, follow the instructions and do this real carefully. I'm going to just sort of breeze through this part. It's not going to be terribly pertinent if you don't have an F-150 of this generation that you're doing this on. And if you do, Then there's an awesome video by Real Fixes Real Fast where he does a 99, and he goes into, I mean, it's like 30 minutes long, these 3 parts, so he goes into all the details and stuff. So I'm basically just going to breeze right through this, you know, to make this video a little bit more watchable. No harm in doing this. We're on step 2. Just remove this part. Are we having fun yet, people? Ew, yuck. Alright, so we're about 45 minutes into it now. I've taken apart my under dash area, this kick area on both sides, disconnecting that part of the wiring harness. Taking, you know, those, you know, the oh shit handle over there off, and, you know, all that trim and everything, and we got my weather stripping hanging down. All that's under there is taken off. Now we're just moving on through. Here's a nifty trick. If you find that you have to unattach your antenna cable, tie like a piece of string or a wire to it, like I have, so that you can retrieve it later. Because it's only just this long. You guys can see it in there. And it's going to have to be back fed all the way down, so I'm going to let it, you know, go in like that, but I can retrieve it later. This is probably the scariest part of this whole job, taking out the airbag. You can see it's already loose. It really shouldn't explode. It's not as scary as people think. You just, you know, follow the instructions and you'll be just fine. Steering column just drops down like that and rests on the seat. About an hour and a half into the job right now. Now the dash is coming on out. I'm really just gonna ooch it out only as far as I need to sort of keep everything oriented. It's easier to access the heater core if the dash is out, but it's a lot more work to actually physically remove the dash from the vehicle. So I'm just gonna scooch it out a little bit. Alright, there's the old heater core. It's all exposed there. Now, just gotta wiggle out this blend door. This is the door that opens and closes when you turn your heater on and off. I gotta wiggle that out, and then I'm gonna remove the old heater core. Rather than mess around with the approved Ford tool for disconnecting the clips on the other side of the firewall, I just cut them. Just cut these pipes here. Bitchin'. Well, here it is, and it is soaking. All over here is soaked. Wherever this thing failed, it definitely failed majorly. So, what I need to do now is, I forgot to do this, I need to go to the hardware store and buy some of this adhesive, foamy, weather stripping stuff, because it prevents the air from blowing around it and not getting warmed up. So, gotta go get some of those before I reinstall the new one. Alright, now I got the new one all insulated and stripped up. You can see it's about the same thickness as the other one was. Prevent air leakage. We're gonna go jam it in there, hook it up. So the new heater core is back in its box, and now we begin the laborious task of putting everything all back the way that it was. Everything's all hooked up under here, with the exception, of course, of the battery. Yeah, I know this wasn't a true, you know, step-by-step how-to video. Just, you know, covering the basics. Get you guys familiarized with what you might be in for if you're going to go ahead and attack this project on your own vehicle. I didn't find it too difficult. It was, you know, long. It's about 3 o'clock now, and I'll probably be working until about sundown. But, you know, next time I do it on this vehicle, hopefully I won't have to, but next time I do, it probably won't take me as long. So if you guys have any questions about it, I'll be happy to help you in any way that I can.